created a game. It's an activation more than a game that helps you find what's already inside of you. Most of us can't find our purpose because there's all these preordained lanes of success in the world. And most of us, me included, don't fit into one of those lanes. I'd say at least 50% of the population doesn't fit into one of those preordained lanes of success. And so to find our purpose, it means we have to pioneer it. We have to pioneer a new path or road forward. And we don't know where to look because oftentimes we can't find our purpose because it's not a straight line towards a destination that we can see clearly. But there's very few purposes for any of us that are a straight linear direction to a destination, because purpose is more about destiny than destination. And so for us, it became empowering you to carve out your own path. And that path isn't something that comes necessarily from externals, but it comes from what's already inside of you. And so our goal has been, how can we find ways, not just typical ways, but even out of the box ways to help extract what is already in people, because it's lying dormant in so many of us. Most of us live to have a job and make a living or make money. And then some live towards what they love to do and use a specific talent or gifting or skill set. And others try to make a difference in the world. Far too often do we pick just one of those three things. Sometimes we get creative and put two of them together. But why not all three? All of us were created with that kind of potential and purpose inside of us. And so how do we find all of those things that are already inside? And how do we start to live it out? That's what we started to work on creating. That's part of what you see behind me, and we're going to get to it in just a minute, because we created a game. It's an activation more than a game that helps you find what's already inside of you. It helps unlock what has maybe been sitting dormant, because a lot of us haven't had someone in our lives who knows how to recognize it, knows how to call out what's inside of us. So we start living just to survive, just to make it in the world. When we weren't created to survive, we were created to thrive and to flourish. That is what purpose is all about. It's realizing that there's someone somewhere in the world waiting for what you are going to live out, what's inside of you. That you carry something that no one else has. You're called to reach people that no one else is. And so that's how we want to serve you, or how we can help those that you love and lead, or your family. And so that's what this resource is for, is to discover what's already inside. Because a lot of times it feels like we know we have these different parts inside, but they all feel like these scattered pieces that don't make sense. So we just find something else to just to get by. Instead of that linear line, it's learning instead to unlock those different pieces that are inside that maybe we've pushed down because they feel different, or they don't make sense, or we don't know how they fit in. And instead it's learning to connect the dots and realize we're not made to just walk this linear line in life, but maybe we're like a connect the dots puzzle. And once you start to realize and uncover and unlock those dots, you can connect them and they become a picture that can shine to the world of who you were created to be, because you were created in God's image. And the world is waiting to see you shine out of that place. So I want to show you a little bit about the game. And you'll see a number of cards, and you'll see the board as a whole. And the board is set up as the nations because, number one, we want you to dream big. We don't want them to be pie in the sky dreams, but we want you to think out of the box, to break whatever glass ceiling someone or something has put upon you. So that's why we have it as the nations, because we always want you to think that anything and know that anything is possible. And then you'll see the education and experience cards, the travel cards, and the mentor cards. Those are almost like chance or community chest, right, in Monopoly, where they help you along the way. They're there to guide you or encourage you. Education experience reminds you that not all education looks the same, that we get it from all different walks of life and people in our lives, different experiences we've gone through, both good and bad, that all act as education for us to help us towards our purpose. And mentoring, we all need someone in our life who is there for us, who believes in us. That is probably the biggest key. It's not even always what someone says, but it's who they are and how they let you feel like you can do something more than what you're already living. Just by seeing you correctly, maybe seeing you better than what you even see yourself. But then the other 6 cards, we call them discovery cards because it's about discovering what's already inside you. So dream is big picture. It's what do you want to give the world? Do you want to give the world love, new ideas, inventions, hope, peace, second chances, employment, belief, big dreams? And it's a big picture sense. What do you want to give to the world? Compassion is who does your heart break for? Because we don't just want to make an impact, but often when we learn to tap into something that draws compassion in us, compassion becomes like an engine that multiplies our impact. Usually it's something that you've gone through or someone close to you has gone through, and you'll find it tugs at those heartstrings or your emotions whenever you watch the same kind of injustice in a movie. Maybe it's for orphans or widows. It might be those who've gone through illness and disease, or through addiction, or at-risk youth. Whatever it is, it's something that grabs you and compels your heart further. And then passion is simply, what do you love to do? Is it art? Is it sports? Is it music? Is it technology, science, building? Whatever it is, God put that in you for a reason. What do you love to do? We shouldn't exclude that. And then purpose is, how will you do it? Will you write? Will you teach? Will you speak? Will you coach? Will you open a facility? Will you travel? Will you send resources? It could be any number of things. And then nations is simply where. Where will you do it? Is it in your community? Or is it an African nation? Is it an Asian nation? Is it your nation? Where do you feel called? Is there a place your heart has always felt drawn to? My wife and I met, and we'd both been drawn to Africa for so many years. It's one of the things that brought us together. And then first steps, really simple, very practical. We don't want it to be pie in the sky dreams. So first steps is, how will you start? To take one step. Write out a goal and a plan. Find a mentor. Start to study your area of compassion. But what this is designed to do isn't just to line it all up for you, but it's to help open your eyes to what's already in you. Give you vision for what's inside before it becomes outside. And so you get to unlock these areas that no one's given you permission to dream into before. And then you can connect the dots. Because maybe your dream is to give hope to the world. You want to give it to orphans, and you want to do it through art, by opening a facility in an Asian nation. And your first steps are to write out a goal and a plan. You might not have any school that lines all that up for you, but it is possibly inside of you. And so it's learning to see what's there, and now how can I live it out? And so that's why we put this before you today, to start to dream into these different categories. Find out what is in you that God wants to draw out of you. Thanks. Like and subscribe for more.